Hello aspirants, I welcome you all to daily newspaper analysis of Shankar IAS Academy. Today's date is 4th of April 2025. Now displayed here are the list of articles that we are going to discuss today. In this first article, we will be discussing about painted lady butterflies. Now currently it is in news because of a study and we will be seeing about the findings of the study. In the second article, we will be discussing about government e-marketplace, what are all the advantages of it and achievements. In the third article, we'll be saying about Naini Lake, which is in Nainital, and in the fourth article, we'll be discussing about the two important Harappan sites that has been added as a archaeological site by Haryana. So, without any delay, let us get into the article discussion. Now look at this article. As the title of the article hints, this article talks about painted lady butterflies. Now currently it is in news because a team has actually made a study on the migratory pattern of this particular species and they have identified certain key important findings. So we shall see about that one by one from the prelims perspective. Before that, we shall quickly go through the syllabus. In prelims, it will be asked under biodiversity, species migrations, scientific innovation and climate change impacts, and in the mains it will be asked under both GS paper 1 and GS paper 3. In GS paper 1, it will be asked under geography part, especially biogeography, species adaptation, and in GS paper 3, it will be asked under biodiversity conservation, climate change and scientific advancements. So we shall start with the basics of painted lady butterfly. So this is how the particular butterfly looks like, and it is a very unique species because it travels around the world. The only place you cannot see the particular species is Antarctica and South America, and it is least concern in IUCN Red List, and the habitat, when you are talking about it, it belongs to temperate grasslands to deserts, and they are well renowned for their migratory pattern. They migrate all around the world. Now moving on, we shall see about the migratory behavior. They origin from North Africa, Middle East as well as Central Asia, and they migrate up to 15,000 kilometers in a single cycle. And the pattern, they have multi-generational. They do not complete the cycle in a single generation, meaning they will take at least 8 to 10 generation to complete one migratory cycle. So remember this, and they have flight ability. They have high speed, high altitude flight with powerful thoracic muscles. So these are all very important factors that you have to remember when it comes to this migratory behavior. Now let us quickly go through what are the key findings of the report. See, firstly, the study said that no genetic difference between short and long distance migrants. So this particular species itself has both the short distance migrants as well as long distance migrants, and they do not have genetic difference. So this is what the very basic finding of the report. Secondly, migration is driven by environmental factor and not genetic factor. So here you have to learn about two important science terms. One is genotype and another one is phenotype. So what is this genotype? Genotype is nothing but the gene of that particular organism will have the particular trait, but it will not be visible in the physical sense. So that is what is called genotype. And when we talk about phenotype, pheno itself, it means visible. So the traits that are visible through our characters is what we call it as phenotype. So here you can see the difference. The genetic makeup of an organism is genotype. The observable physical trait or characteristics is called as phenotype. And the basis, it is determined by the organism's DNA. Here the phenotype, it is determined by result of genotype as well as genetic interaction. So there will be a genotype, which means you will have the trait. When this trait combines with the environmental factor, it leads to phenotype. A very good example is this migration. This migration is a very good example for phenotype when it comes to insects, birds as well as the butterflies. So when we talk about the visibility, they are not visible externally. The genotype, it is not visible externally, but the phenotype, it is visible through height, eye color and etc. And the influence, it is purely genetic, and the influence is both gene as well as environmental factor. And the example for this is AA. Both AA is capital because both are dominant character. So AA is one dominant and one recessive. AA is both are recessive. So these are all certain combinations that are not visible in the character, but when it has a proper interaction with the environmental factor, it leads to physical trait, observable physical trait. And the changeability does not change during the lifetime, but this can change due to environmental condition. Imagine you are in South Asia and you are going to Europe, and based on the conditions, you yourself will adapt over years. So this means that the phenotype can be changed. And finally, the scientific study, this genotype, it is used in genes, and the phenotype is used in genetics, developmental biology, and environmental science. So these are the two important key scientific terms that you have to remember. Now moving on, we shall see some of other scientific findings of the report. Firstly, using the isotope tracing. Isotope tracing is nothing but the wings, they have specific isotypes based on the place where they origin. So with that, they have identified the origin of each butterflies, and they found that single interbreeding population, there is no genetic diversity based on distance. See, when we talk about birds, they have genetic diversity based on the distance they travel. So that is the major finding. But when we talk about the butterflies, there is no genetic variation, but there are varieties, like one is short traveling and the another one is long traveling, but the genes are same. And thirdly, wing shape or size. Based on the wing shape or size also, it does not differ. They are not linked to migration distance. Both have the same type, and that is why they tell this. And finally, environmental factor, they are the primary driver of migration. Now moving on, now the very key difference between the two is, birds, they return to same breeding ground, but when it comes to butterflies, they do not return. Each generation continues migration. So imagine there is a particular generation, and this one generation, they will travel to certain distance, and they will lay their cocoons here, and the cocoons will be growing, and this cocoon will move to next place. So this way they will be completing a complete migratory cycle, and this is how butterflies and birds are different. So these are all very important facts that you have to remember. Based on the things we have discussed, I have framed a prelims question for you. Painted lady butterflies use which of the following to retain isotopes for migration tracking? The correct answer for the particular question is option B, wings. So with these learned points, now let us move on to the next news article discussion. Now look at this article. Recently, Startup Mahakumbh 2025 has been organized, and that is by Government E-Marketplace is in news. So this particular topic, Government E-Marketplace, it will be asked under GS paper 1 in prelims, especially in the public policy. In GS paper 3 mains, it will be asked under economic development and inclusive growth. So we shall see about what is the basics of this government market e-marketplace. So it was launched in 2016, and it is developed by DGS&D, which is Directorate General of Supplies and Disposals, as well as MeitY, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and NEGD, which is nothing but National E-Governance Division. So it is managed by Government E-Marketplace Special Purpose Vehicle, in short called as GEM SPV, which is under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So it is developed by one particular ministry, and it is managed by another particular ministry. Now remember this difference. And the purpose is to public procurement portal for both goods and services. Now moving on, we shall see about the pillars of GEM. First is efficiency, which is AI-driven procurement, faster processing. See, priorly before this marketplace, e-marketplace, you have to procure it physically, which is very difficult, and procuring from across the states is also very difficult. But currently, it is AI-driven, so the efficiency has increased. Secondly, transparency, digital auditing trial is there. So there is a very transparent bill where we can see all the things that has been procured by a particular vendor. So this will reduce manipulation, the double accounting will be minimized, and even the fake vendors will be controlled. And finally, inclusion, it focuses on MSME. It brings a lot of it is actually a platform for both the suppliers as well as procurers. So the suppliers include MSMEs, women-led units, even artisans and FPOs. And currently the Mahakumbh is also for startups. So it encourages a lot of startups for public procurement. So it lies as a platform. So while the goods has been procured and it has been put under sale, and the vendors, they can actually procure from this particular place. So it is a two-way communication point. And what are all the advantages? Centralized procurement portal, and it brings in automation, ensuring efficiency, and it will boost MSME as well as startups, and it brings a lot of policy reforms and compliance driven. So these are all very important advantages. What are all the achievements? It brings in steady increase in transaction value since 2016 to 2024. Here the steady is very important. So it means the growth is on the peak, and the growth is only moving upwards, and there is no downfall in any of the particular year. And it has supported Chandrayaan-3 mission even, and it provides 50% suppliers or MSMEs, which is a very important thing. And moving on, based on the things we have discussed, I have created a prelims question for you. What was the government e-market launch? When was the government e-market launched? Correct answer is 2016. So with these learned points, now let us move on to the next news article discussion. Now look at this news article. As the title itself hints, this article talks about Naini Lake, and it tries to explain why Naini Lake is seeing record low water levels this year. So from the prelims perspective, this particular topic, it can be asked under current affairs of national importance, and in the mains it can be asked under GS paper 1, location changes in critical geographical features including water bodies and ice caps. So the news is that water level of Naini Lake has dropped to 4.7 feet, which is below, which is 5 years low. So this is the lowest point in the past 5 years. So you can use this point in your mains answer, and this threatens drinking water scarcity, security, especially for the people from Nainital. So we shall see about this particular Naini Lake. See, as you can see in this image, Nainital is present here in Uttarakhand, and it is Naini is a lake in this particular place. So it is a natural kidney shaped lake surrounded by 7 hills. So this is how the actual lake looks like. Now currently the water level of this particular lake has dropped down, and it has been found by Mr. P. Barron in 1839, and it is the third largest lake in Uttarakhand by surface area, and it connects Malital, which is in north, and Talital, which is in south, through bridges with world's only post office on Lake Bridge. So it has 76% of the Nainital's water demand is met by this particular lake. This is as per 2024. Now currently it has dried up due to a lot of reasons. Let us quickly go through the reasons one by one. See, the first major reason is the climate change. So there is a lot of decline in snowfall as well as rainfall, especially during the winter. So this led to reduced water storage that should happen during winter, which will help in summer. So this was not there. Secondly, man-made disruptions. There was a lot of man-made disruptions. For example, unplanned construction and encroachment, and there is degradation of a recharge zone, as well as concrete structures has been built up. This has reduced the rainwater infiltration that will come up to the lake. So these are all certain man-made disruptions. Apart from this, there is a particular restoration project that is happening near Sukatal Lake. So this Sukatal Lake has been altered heavily. For example, even concrete has been used in this particular lake to restore, and even siltation and debris work, dumping work is actually happening. So all these affect the aquifers' recharge ability, and pollution, untreated wastewater discharge is happening, and even the solid waste dumping and overflowing sewage systems. So all these has led to increasing in pollutants in the particular lake, and since the BOD level has gone very low, it has led to habitat destruction heavily. So these are all very important facts that you have to remember. Now what are the implications of these changes? Firstly, acute drinking water scarcity, especially in Nainital during the summer season, and there is ecological imbalance and impact on local biodiversity. See, what happens when lakes they get drastically damaged is the entire habitat, the entire ecological services provided by the particular lake will be disrupted. Especially when the polluted water is added, the organic matter to digest all the polluted matter will be very low. So even if the water is there, even if 4 feet of water is there, it will not be used for drinking water. So this is why it is a very big concern. And finally, the tourist and livelihood are at risk. So people are visiting to the particular pictographic view that that is provided by this lake. So if water is not there, there is no tourism, which will affect the livelihood, especially around the region. So these are all the implications of the reduced water level in Naini Lake. Now, based on the things we have discussed, I have framed a prelims question for you. Naini Lake is located in which Indian state? The correct answer for the particular question is option B, Uttarakhand. So with these learned points, now let us move on to the next news article discussion. Now look at this article. The title of the article reads, Haryana declares 2 Harappan civilization spots as protected archaeological sites. So this particular 2 different archaeological sites includes Mitatal and Tiharana. These 2 sites are in Bhiwani district, which is in Haryana. So this particular site, it has been announced under Haryana Ancient and Historical Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1964. So this is why both the sites, especially the Harappan sites, are in news. So this particular topic, it can be asked in the prelims as well as mains. In prelims, it will be asked in the history of India. In mains, it will be asked in GS paper 1, Indian Heritage and Culture. So we shall start with the Mitatal site. It is first discovered in 1913. Here you can look at the location of the particular place. And here they found a lot of coins of Samudragupta as well. And they excavated this particular site in 1968. This revealed copper bronze age culture. And it is associated with Indo-Gangetic divide, which is way back to 3rd and 2nd millennium BCE. And certain findings include beads, copper implants, then terracotta, shell, stone, ivory, pottery with peepal leaf or fish scale, as well as geometric motifs. And Harappan elements like town planning and art and artifacts has been found in this particular space. So this is about Mitatal site, and we shall see about Tigarana site. It belongs to the date of around 2400 BCE, which is a Chalcolithic period, and it is settlements by Scythians in modest mud brick houses. So this is the first site. So this is one of the site which has mud brick houses, and certain findings include wheel-made ceramics, then domesticated animals, as well as agriculture, or certain significant findings in this particular space. Artifacts include copper, bronze, stone tools, beads, green Carolina bangles, and etc. And they had multiple cultural phases. For example, they had pre-Siswal as well as pre-Harappan as well as the post-Harappan culture tied up in their site. So these 2 sites are very important. You can mark it in the map. It will be asked in the preliminary question. Every year there will be a question based on IBC, and since it is in news, it can be straight away asked in the news. Now let us quickly go through the significance of the finding. Firstly, it provides insights into early forming community. Secondly, it reflects continuity of human settlement in northern India, as well as it provides evidence of trade, craftsmanship, and social organization. See, these kind of sites, it helps us to understand the lifestyle of the people and the culture of the people back then, and how it has evolved over time. So this will help us to understand the evolution of human itself. So now let us quickly go through the prelims question that has been asked from the article. What kind of pottery was commonly found in Mitatal? So here the correct answer for the question is option B, painted redware with black designs. So with this, we came to the end of the news article discussion. If you like the video, hit like, do comment, and don't forget to subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel. Now thank you so much for listening.